What's good, everyone? Coming at you with another at-home video here this week while I'm at my lake house here in Minnesota. Again, because I'm on vacation this week, we won't be having Steelers Talk Live either today or Friday, but we will be back next week, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time like usual in studio. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button because whether I'm on vacation, whether I'm got a day off, whatever the case may be, I'm going to make sure that I'm getting the Steelers video out to you guys every single day here on the channel. You're not going to get that level of dedication anywhere else here on Steelers YouTube. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button right now. And today, yesterday I kind of talked a little bit about CeeDee Lamb and Pat Freiermuth and a little bit about the Steelers offensive line, just kind of going over the basic news and rumors of the day. Today, I'm going to be a little bit more solely focused here. Steel City Underground came out with a list of 4 current NFL free agents that they think the Steelers should consider signing. And today, I'm going to give my thoughts on all 4 of those free agents because I think the guys that they brought up were pretty interesting. So without further ado, we'll just jump right into the first one here, which is Justin Simmons, the safety. We've talked about Simmons quite a bit on the channel this offseason, talking about how he could be a really good replacement for Damontae Kazee if the team wanted to cut him. And I still kind of feel the same way, but I don't think the team is going to move on from Kazee. I think right now what the Steelers are planning to do at the safety position, they want Minkah Fitzpatrick to go back to playing pretty much a true free safety role. That's what he has played most of his time here in Pittsburgh. It's what he's done with his all-pro seasons. Last year, because of injuries and different player situations and all these different things, Minkah had to play a little bit in the slot. He had to play a bit more in the box, and it just didn't really allow him to play with the freedom that has allowed him to be the all-pro caliber player that he has been in recent seasons, in past seasons, and that's what they're trying to get him back to doing this year. So it seems like the Steelers want him to be the starting free safety every single down. They don't want him playing in the box. They don't want him playing in the slot. They want him to roam the center of the defense, and they want him to mess stuff up the way that he can do that. Then they get Deshaun Elliott in free agency this year, somebody that does have a little bit of slot experience, but they're getting him to be kind of that bigger, strong safety type, kind of that Terrell Edmunds role, somebody that can play that bandit hybrid safe or linebacker role. When they go to their 3 safety packages, and then they have Damontae Kazee still on the roster to be that third safety. So when the Steelers go to that 3 safety package, they can go to Kazee as that third safety while Deshaun Elliott goes down into the box as the kind of that hybrid coverage linebacker in those 3 safety looks. So, I mean, if you get Justin Simmons at this point, where does he fit into that equation? It would fit into the Damontae Kazee role, and with Justin Simmons being a former All-Pro in his own right, I highly doubt that Simmons wants to come to Pittsburgh in a rotational role. Now, you could think about moving Minkah into a different role and just have Justin Simmons be your free safety, but I don't think that's what the Steelers want. I think that they feel like they already have an all-pro caliber free safety in Minkah. I think they really like Deshaun Elliott. That's why they got him very early in the free agency process. And there's a reason why they've kept Damontae Kazee, because he's kind of, a former starter that brings high energy to the field, really good rotational piece. So I think the Steelers actually feel really good about the safety position right now. And I don't think Justin Simmons is really on their radar. Number 2 player that they brought up on their list here, Steel City Underground, was Michael Thomas, the wide receiver. And I've also talked about Michael Thomas a lot on this channel as well, and I'm still on board with the Steelers going out and getting Michael Thomas because this team has kind of been missing that true possession, route running type guy in this offense since Diontae Johnson got traded. They've added a bunch of kind of smaller, kind of faster, deep threat type receivers. They still have Calvin Austin III. They added Van Jefferson, Scotty Miller, Quez Watkins, and Roman Wilson. But they're definitely missing that true route runner type on the other side of George Pickens, and this is why I've been a big advocate of potentially getting Brandon Ayuk if you could do it, because he's kind of a better version of Diontae Johnson. But Michael Thomas is a bit different. I think he's still a really good possession type guy where third downs you need somebody to get open. Still think Thomas can be that type of guy when he's healthy. He's a bigger receiver, still runs really good routes in the short and intermediate parts of the field. He's not really going to get open down the field the same way that a guy like Calvin Austin III or Roman Wilson is going to be able to. But there's a reason why those guys are on your roster, and those guys are slated to have prominent roles in this Arthur Smith offense. So, Michael Thomas would bring some size to this wide receiver room that really isn't present right now outside of George Pickens in the starting lineup anyway. And, it would provide the Steelers that much more size and run blocking ability in the red zone as well. Michael Thomas has got super strong hands, good route runner, can get open into the red zone, which of course we know the Steelers need to do a lot better at this year. So I'm totally on board with getting Michael Thomas. Now, there are reports that the Steelers aren't interested in Michael Thomas, and honestly, I think if the Steelers were interested, he'd probably be on the team. So it doesn't seem likely, in my opinion, that Michael Thomas will be a Steeler, but you can always hold out hope. Another player that Steel City Underground put on their list here, Patrick Peterson. Of course, he played last year at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers picked him up after Cam Sutton went to the Detroit Lions, couldn't get him back with the team. And he just kind of struggled, man, especially on the outside. He just didn't really have the legs anymore. The speed wasn't there, and he really benefited from playing in the slot, from playing a safety position. When things got really bad injury-wise at the safety spot, that was when he was best. And then when they moved him back outside, when people started to get back healthy, Devontae KZ came back from suspension, he kind of got toasted on the outside again because he just doesn't have the speed. So I think at this point, Patrick Peterson is more of a slot defender, more of a safety. And the reason why Steel City Underground says bring him in is because you don't know how long a Cam Sutton suspension is going to be. And this is a decent case here because, Cam Sutton, with all the different legal stuff that went down in Florida this year, running from police for more than a few weeks, it's not a good look, and the NFL might take action to suspend him for a decent amount of time to start the season. Patrick Peterson is somebody that could, in theory, come in. He knows the defense. He doesn't have to take much time to learn the defense or anything like that. He can play that slot cornerback position to start. And honestly, if the NFL decides to take that kind of action against Cam Sutton, I think this is something the Steelers could consider, even though I think Beanie Bishop Jr., the rookie undrafted free agent out of West Virginia, has really looked the part. And honestly, I wouldn't be completely opposed to him getting the first couple of starts of the season at slot corner, especially if he starts having a good training camp in Latrobe. So Patrick Peterson is a maybe for me. And then the final name that Steel City Underground put on their list was Tyus Bowser, the edge rusher, who is still available. Bowser is somebody that, of course, played many years with the Baltimore Ravens as a starting player in their 3-4 system. And I actually think Bowser would be a really good addition to the Pittsburgh Steelers rotation. You guys know, if you've been watching the channel, that I've advocated for signing Marcus Golden, who was with the Steelers last year, had actually a pretty darn good season with this team, and is still a free agent, by the way. I'd probably still rather have Marcus Golden than Tyus Bowser, but Bowser is a similar mold to Marcus Golden, where he's kind of a bigger 3-4 outside linebacker who's a really good run defender. At this point in his career, he might not bring as much upside in terms of pass rush, but if TJ Watt or Alex Highsmith goes down and you just need somebody to be a stopgap, somebody that can come in and be a good early down run defender, I think Tyus Bowser is somebody that can certainly bring that to the table, because let's face it, man, if TJ Watt or Alex Highsmith ends up getting hurt, Nick Herbig, I'm not sure, is really fit to play on early downs. He's kind of on the smaller side. I'm not sure if he's really going to provide much for you in terms of run defense. And honestly, if forced into a starting role, I think opposing offenses might target Nick Herbig if forced to start. So having kind of that bigger early down run defending 3-4 outside linebacker in case TJ or Alex gets hurt, I think is a really important insurance policy for Steelers GM Omar Khan to get before the start of the season. Like I said, I think I'd rather have Marcus Golden than Tyus Bowser, but if they ended up bringing in Tyus, somebody that's been in this league for a long time, would bring a veteran presence, I wouldn't mind it whatsoever, and I think it would be a pretty decent move. So before I go here, get down there in the comments section and let me know which Steelers or which NFL free agent that's still available do you think the Steelers should still go out and get? Is it a wide receiver? Is it an edge rusher? Is it a cornerback? Let me know down there in the comments section, which NFL free agent would you like the Steelers to go out and get in free agency before the start of training camp? That's going to be it for today's video, guys. Really do appreciate all of your support. Tomorrow, it's the 4th of July, so happy holidays to you guys. Really do appreciate all of your support, and until next time, here we go, Steelers.